Assalamu alaikum, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Captions. Make sure you go to my website, revelationtheexperience.com, where you can download this figure that we are going to be talking about next. Assalamu alaikum, my friends. Welcome back to Coffee and Captions, where we try to go through one of the figures in my book Revelation in under 5 minutes. It's something I try to do. The last few episodes I totally failed miserably, but hopefully that was okay for you. Let me know in the captions, in the comments, how things are going with the captions. Would love to get your feedback on that. And remember, make sure you visit my website, therevelationexperience.com, where you can get access to a lot of the figures that we're talking about right now. For those of you who don't have the book, in the meantime, while you're waiting or you're trying to get it or you can't get access to it, you can at least get the free PDFs of these figures so that you can follow along with me. You can share it and teach it to all the people around you. All right, let's get started. Okay, so today is going to be a pretty quick day. What I wanted to show you is something really important, but pretty basic. So not too complicated. We're going to a map. Thank God. You guys are like, no more family trees for a bit, right? So we're doing a map here today, and I think you guys can see this map right here. This is a map entitled The Seasonal Caravan Routes from Mecca. Now, if you remember in the previous episode, we talked about this family tree right here. This is the clans of Quraysh right here. And we talked about this gentleman named Hashim and how he was extraordinary. He was the son of Abdul Manaf, and he was given the rights to take care of the pilgrims because half of the Quraysh, the scented ones, agreed that they wanted to support him because he was so extraordinary. Well, what really put Hashim on the map? Or better yet, how did Hashim put Mecca on the map? That's what we're talking about in this figure right here. And so what we see right here is Mecca right here, right? And I have it labeled right here. It's in the center, kind of western part of the Arabian Peninsula. And what I wanted to show you is how Hashim made Mecca really important in the Arabian Peninsula. See, what Hashim did is he decided that he was going to establish the summer and the winter caravan trading routes, okay? So the winter route goes from Mecca right here, you see in blue, all the way down to Yemen, right? Remember, the Himyarites lived down there. Remember the Himyarites? They were the extensions, the leftovers from the Empire of Sheba. So the Himyarites lived down here in Yemen. And in the winter, think about it this way, and this is how I think about it. In the winter time, it's cold, so you want to go south where it's warmer, right? And in the summertime when it's hot, you want to go up north where it's cooler. So the winter route goes south, and the summer route goes north. Okay. Another way to remember that is S comes before W. So S is up to the top and W goes down to the bottom. However you want to remember it, that's kind of just how I think about it. I realize this is someone, I have a little bias because I live in the Northern Hemisphere, but that's the way I think about it. Okay. Now, what Hashim did right here is he established these routes. Now, what does it mean to establish a route? Like anyone can just kind of just be like, okay, go that way and you'll end up at your destination, right? See, establishing routes isn't the same as just like building a highway to get to a certain place or marking on a trail. What establishing the route really is about is establishing protection along the route. See, for those of you who travel, right, if you go somewhere, all you need to know is really how to get there, and do you have a car or a means of getting to that destination? Because you have all of these things that are we all take for granted. We take for granted the fact that we have law enforcement along the way, that we have people who are making sure there are no drunk drivers, people are following the law when you get there, you won't get robbed on your way to your destination, so forth. We take all of this for granted. But in Arabia at this time, the time of Hashim, there was no infrastructure, there was no centralized authority or government or legal system or anything like that. So if you're going through these territories, it's kind of just up to you. You know, if you get raided, if your caravan gets raided, it's like getting carjacked, right? It could happen and it's your problem. There's no warranties, there's no insurance, there's nothing. And so what Hashim did is he created these routes, but also established agreements that he could go up north and go down south, and people knew the Quraysh were coming and going. Recognize, if you're going on a trading expedition, people know you have either money or you have goods, right? When you're going, you probably have a lot of goods. When you're coming back, you have a lot of goods. So you got to be careful. And that's what Hashim did, is he created these very specific summer and winter trading routes. The winter one went down to Yemen, we saw, and the summer one went up through the city of Yathrib, later to be known as Medina, into Tabuk, Jerusalem, and so forth, and it connected to the Silk Road, which was going across, connecting the Eastern world to the Western world. There are other routes here that we can see in this figure, but the main ones are the summer and winter routes. And what these routes did is they put Mecca on the map. Everyone was passing now through Mecca. And this made Mecca this preeminent place. It had the Kaaba. Now the Kaaba, which was filled with idols at this point, because there's like, look, this is a major rest stop. This is like a convention center. Let's just bring everyone's idols in so that everyone feels like it's home for them, right? So that's what Mecca became. You know, I always make the analogy, it's kind of like Las Vegas. Las Vegas is in the middle of the desert in Nevada. It has no business being there if there wasn't the gambling industry. The gambling industry is what put Nevada on Las Vegas on the map. And that's why it's the most, even though it's such a kind of desolate area, it's one of the most heavily visited areas in the entire country, the United States. The same way, Mecca, because of all the idols and now because of all the trade routes coming through, Mecca becomes this flourishing place. And so the reason why people loved Hashim, the Quraysh, is because he made Mecca Mecca. He put Mecca on the map. And that's why Hashim is remembered as this very wonderful leader, this great person, this descendant of Qusay, the person who brought the Quraysh back into control of Mecca. He is in that line of excellence. That is the significance of Hashim and the significance of the summer and winter routes. Now, just FYI, these summer and winter routes, they are mentioned in one of the chapters of the Qur'an, Surah Al-Quraysh, where God swears, right? لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. The rihla, the caravan routes, the ways, the trading routes, the summer and the winter routes. So God is swearing by these routes, talking about the Quraysh and how he granted them this very special favor. So anyway, so much more we could talk about that. You can feel free to go to the Revelation Experience where you can listen more about the details of this entire story, the details of Surah Al-Quraysh and so forth. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that because we don't want to make this too long. Thanks so much for being a part of this, guys. Make sure you go to the revelationexperience.com where you can get so much more information, PDFs, figures, downloads, all sorts of stuff for you to have. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a wonderful day with some coffee and captions. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.